Allow your breath to get a little softer, a little deeper. Right here, you might just begin to explore how your hips feel this morning, afternoon. And then start to use your next breath to come to all fours. Drop your belly, lift your chin, cow pose. And round your back for cat pose. Starting to just move through those two places. You might just keep your eyes closed and not worry about what it looks like, but what it feels like. You might find yourself kind of holding the breath at the top and at the bottom. Just feeling the full expression of that particular pose in your body today. Take 2 more rounds. And then just start to move into a neutral spine. You're going to lift your feet up, knees are going to stay on the floor. You're going to just move your knees to the right. And then take your left hand and reach it further forward and stretch over towards the right side. You can shift your hips around just a little bit, see what you find in that left side body. And then move that hand back, pick your feet up again, take it to the other side. Opposite hand goes away and finds some space. And then release. Put your hands on the floor. Come to stand on your knees and reach your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, draw your elbows to your waist and drop your head to the floor. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, take it down. I want you to just keep going. Again, close your eyes if you feel uncomfortable doing this. Take one more round, and then just put your hands on the floor, tuck your toes under, walk your hands back into your feet for a forward fold back of your mats. just slowly start to walk your feet about as wide as your mat apart. Maybe turn the toes out. Walk your fingertips way out in front of you, but then start to shift your hips back and kind of drag your fingertips towards your feet. Just sit down. And then drop your head between your ears and straighten your knees a little or a lot, but not locking. Okay, let's do that again. Sit back. It's kind of like you're leveraging yourself behind your heels and dragging your fingertips towards you. And then straighten up. And 3 more just like that. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time, exhale. And inhale. Walk your hands out to your first downward facing dog. So you get to decide the length of it. We'll keep the feet kind of wide like this. Right, rock your hips a little from side to side. Just find a little movement. And then rise high with the balls of the feet. Drop your heels to the right. Walk your left hand a little bit closer to the front of your mat and stretch really big in your left side body. Slide your left hand back. Let's do the same thing other side. Drop the heels to the left. Walk the hands, the right hand, to the front of the mat. Walk the right hand back. Move out into your plank pose. Bend your elbows, come all the way down to the floor. Tops of the feet to the mat. Take an inhale, lift for just a baby cobra, maybe fingertips, or even float your hands off the floor, but the feet stay on the floor. Hands to the floor, hips to the heels, we're back in that child's pose. And then rise to all fours, stack your hands underneath your armpits, knees underneath your hips, send your right leg back. And then draw your knee to your nose and kind of find that catch in again. And then exhale, send the leg back, maybe bend the knee and find the catch. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, in. And up. 2 more in. And back. Last one in. Lift, keep the knee bent. You're just going to take the knee out to the side. So now just a different move. The elbows need to stay straight. Take your right knee to the back of your right arm. And then backwards. And then to the right one. And back. 2 more out. And lift. Last one out. We're going to step that right foot outside of right hand. Little bitty circles clockwise. So here, you might close your eyes, right? Because it's not a very balanced pose. It's not a particular pose. What I want you to start to feel are the outer perimeter of your hip, your range of motion today. Next time you come around the front, pause, turn your right toes out to the right, leave your left hand where it is. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and roll your chest over. You're pushing your leg away and gazing over your right shoulder. That's me. It could be. It can still be me, making a weird noise. Put your hands to the floor, straighten your right leg, and fold just inside the leg. And you might kind of rock on your heel here a little bit. That doesn't feel good, don't worry about it. And then put the foot on the floor, on the edge of the mat. Now we're going to step to the front of the mat like we were in the back. So feet the edges of the mat. Walk your hands out. Sit back into your heels. Start to kind of drag your hands back and lift the back of your head. And then straighten the knees a little or a lot. Fold. Bend. Create that dragging sensation. And straighten. 2 more down. And back. Last one down. And lift. Roll and stack. Come all the way to stand. Reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Ragdoll when you get to the bottom. Grab the elbow. Hands to the floor. Right knee steps back for a lunge. And left foot right into that downward facing dog. Find your way out to a plank pose. All the way to the floor. Tops of the feet lift, cobra. All the way back to the floor. Tuck your toes, come back to your plank. And you're downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Out. All the way down. And lift. All the way down. Use your knees if you need to. Keep your torso like a plank to come up to your plank. And then down dog. Just one more time. Out to your plank. Use the knees if you need to right here. So that you're not the wave going down. You're the plank going down. And then out lift. Exhale down. Just hips to heels. Child's pose. And then up to all fours. Left leg goes back. Make your cat shape. Draw your knee into your chin. And then back. Maybe a bend and a lift in the back of the head. Again, in. And back. In. Back. Last one in. Lift. Here's out to the other side. Okay, so arms straight, and I'm not shifting all the way forward. I'm just staying right over my hands and my knee. It may not go all the way to the arm. So you gotta turn the hip, and then see if you can take it to the back of the left arm. And then back. Again. And back. 2 more, over. Back. Last one, over. Here's the step, outside the hands. Counterclockwise circles. And then the twist. Right hand stays, left hand inside left knee, open. Both hands to the floor, left knee straightens, fold. Foot climbs back to the edge of the mat, right foot steps to the other edge of the mat. Walk your hands out, sit your butt back, lift the back of your head. And then straight. Do that again. And straight. 2 more lower. And lift. Last one lower. And lift. Grab an elbow. Let's take a ragdoll here. In your ragdoll, while you're going to swing side to side, I want you to turn all 10 toes to the short edge of your mat, so not the corners of the mat. And then start to set your butt down like you did just a minute ago. Start to lift your elbows even with the top of your skull. And then rise and come all the way down. Let's do that again. Sit down. Hinge at your hips first. And then the knees straight. In reverse, bend the knees. Now unhinge from the hips and straighten and lift. One more time. Bend, hinge, straighten and fold. Last time up. Bend, unhinge, and rise. Reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Left foot steps back for a lunge. Right foot to downward facing. Plank pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so we're just going to scale some of that up. Right foot lifts, three-legged dog. Bend the knee like you're going to keep the ceiling. And then turn your knee out to the right. Right, so you do this on all fours. Take your right knee to the back of your right arm. And then lift it back up. Do that again. And lift. Two more over. Back. Last one over. Now step your right foot outside your right hand. The left hand stays where it is. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and let's take a twist. Look over your right shoulder. Both hands to the floor inside the right foot. Straighten your right knee and fold. Bend the knee once more. Walk your foot to the edge of the mat. Step your left foot to the edge of that side of the mat. Walk your hands out. Sit back. All right, so we're going to just play around like this. I'm not going to count how many times we're going to do this. Here's what I want you to kind of figure out about yourself. As your hips lower, do your feet need to turn, right? So that, because your knees, that's the way your hips are built. And your knees are going that way, so your toes need to go that way. Okay? But each time, we're really working on not rounding, but dropping your tailbone to the floor. Yeah? So maybe not quite so low. All right. This is the one we're going to rise from all the way to stand. Reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Right foot steps back for a lunge. And left foot to plank. Lift the back of your head. Bend your elbows, hug the waist with the elbows. Inhale. Heart opens for back bend. Elbows are soft though. And then come back to downward facing dog. Let's do the left side. Left leg lifts. Kick the ceiling with the foot first. Then just turn the knee out to the side. So it's not really like that normal three-legged dog we do. And then take the knee to the back of the left arm. And come back. Do that again. And lift. Two more over. Back. This is the one we're going to step. So try not to stomp. Yep. Twist. Right hand stays. Push the knee away. Roll it over. Hands to the floor. Straighten the left knee. Fold. Rebend the left knee. Here's your step up into your Malasana squat. Right? Maybe you're still moving back and forth. Maybe you're going to settle in. Tailbone towards the floor, not there. Okay? So if it's still kind of doing that, maybe hands to your legs or use those hands to support you. I don't want you to hurt your lower back. Maybe hands at your heart. And you use your arms to push your legs apart. Grab your elbows. Let's take that ragdoll forward fold. Straighten out your toes. Bend your knees. Lift your elbows. And then start to lift your torso and straighten your knees without locking at the top. Do it again. Sit down. Hinge. Pull. One more time up. Bend. Right now my belly is resting on my thighs and I'm trying to lift my hands, the elbows. I'm trying to get those out of my peripheral vision. And then I'm going to lift my torso. And then I'm going to lift up. Last time. Sit down. Hinge. Fold. Hands to the floor. Left foot steps back for lunge and right to plank pose. Back of the head lifts. Tip forward. Come low. Lift without locking your elbows. So there's a little bit of a spring there. And then downward facing dog. Here we go. Right foot lifts, three-legged dog. Draw the knee to the back of the right arm. And then to your chest. Now, cross the midline with your right ankle and set it right over your left knee. Bend your left knee so you make a perch for that leg to rest on. So you're going to figure 4 in down dog. All right, I'm going to roll into my left hand for supported side plank. Here's how it goes. If I just put my foot down right here and I roll into my left hand, it's going to be pretty awkward, okay? So I'm going to move my right foot out a little bit, roll to the outside edge of my left foot, and be able to really use my right foot to support me. And then come back to your figure 4 down dog. Right back in there. Sit back into. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Left hand stays. Push the right knee away. Up, twist it over. Hands to the floor. Straighten the right leg and fold. Right foot edge of the mat. Left foot edge of the mat. Sit down into your Malasana squats. Maybe right shoulder pins your right knee. Left hand maybe to that left knee, a little bit like that twist. And then you're going to fold in, but you're going to move that right hand over to the left corner of the mat. Take your left hand over to the right corner of the mat. Make your eagle arms and come all the way up. All right, so we're doing the same movement. Bend your knees and take it low. But there's not a point where you're doing this or that you're doing this. It is a chair. And then you're just taking your hands down. And then you come back to the chair and then you straighten. Let's do it again. Chair. Just the arms move. Then the arms come back. Then you unwind your chair. 2 more. Chair. Arms. Arms back. Straight. Last one. Chair. Lower. Lift. And all the way up. Unwind your arms. Reach your arms up. Alright. Exhale. Let it go. Forward fold. Right foot back for lunge. Left foot back right into down dog, or maybe your plank, flow, you get to decide. And we'll all make it down dog. Let's do the left side. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Tap back your left arm. Come back, 3-legged dog. Draw your knee into your chest. Here's your figure 4. Start to bend your right knee and make a perch for that ankle. And you've made a figure 4 down dog. Alright, so then we took it into a side plank. You're going to start to put the right foot on the floor, as much of it as you can. And your left foot is in a place that makes sense. You're not just like hunched over your right leg, arm. Find your figure 4 down dog once more. All right, here's that step outside your hand. And then the push the knee away. And then the straighten and fold. Put your foot back on the mat if it's not there. Let's step. Malasana squats. Lower in. Left arm, right hand up, or you're pushing that knee away. Good. Yes. All right, so now I'm going to take the left hand to the right side. The right hand, left side. Eagle arms, we're coming on up. Square your toes up right here. Sit down into your chair. Just take the hands out. So I'm not dropping my head. And then I'm going to lift my arms. And then I'm coming up. Again, lower. Arms. Arms. Up. Last 2 down. And reach. And back up. And all the way. Let's stay down on this one. Lower. Arms reach out. Now take your hands behind your back. Now drop your head, straighten your legs. Hands to the floor, step your left foot back. And right foot right into your down dog or float. All right, right foot lifts, 3-legged dog. Knee to the back of the right arm. Cross the midline, make your figure 4. Walk your hands back to your standing foot back there. Sit down into your chair, okay? So we did this move, right? We're in the chair, but we're not folding over the leg. We're hinged at the hips. Your left knee is super bent. Maybe you're doing the drag with your hands to keep your back flat. Maybe you can clear the floor and just hands at your heart. Back of the head is lifting. So you're looking at the front of your mat, not down at your left foot. Hands come to the floor. Walk your hands about halfway out to your down dog. And now, come to the ball of your left foot. Put the shin on the floor. See you in line, both knees up. And you're on the top of your right foot. Walk your hands over to the right side. Plant your right hand. Lift your left arm up. Now, push the floor away so you can come all the way to stand. Go post your arms. Think about your tailbone dropping towards the floor right now. And then it starts to kind of move towards the front leg. And then come up towards your belly to lift your heart. Let's come out of this the same way we came in. So back to your goalpost arms. Then the right hand on the floor. And then you walk them around to the front. Back to your figure 4 down dog. Right foot steps outside right hand. Left hand grabs the right knee. This time we're going to corkscrew the feet to the right. Yes. We're going to step it back to wild thing. So the right knee's going to lift the foot up. You're going to step the right foot behind the left knee. And lift your hips. We're going to step the right foot back to the front. Here's where things get a little bit different depending on your Malasana squat. Maybe you're still keeping it wide and turning the toes out a lot. Maybe you can step your feet more like outer hip width apart. And you can be on your toes for sure if you need to be. And we're going to find the Malasana squat. Hands at your hearts. Start to take your hands to your right leg. Don't drop your head. We're coming up with it. Open it out to the side. Tree pose. Hands up and overhead. Goalpost arms. Right, and see if you can do the same action that you did on the floor, right? You're almost in it. I want you to drop that tailbone. So it's not a big back bend where you're arching. You're dropping the tailbone and you're lifting the chest instead. Left hand comes to left hip. Grab the ankle or the big toe, peace finger thumb. Your arm is inside this right leg. Stay here or start to kick it away, but don't lock that right knee out, please. Bend the knee. Bring the leg back in front of you. Step the feet together, hands up and overhead. Exhale, squat that, let it go, forward fold. Right foot steps back for a lunge. This time take your right heel to the floor. We're lifting up warrior one. All right, so warrior one is another one of those places where you just make this huge back bend by kind of hinging at that front hip. Okay, so I want you to sit more back into your right leg and right knee is straight. And then take your hands behind your back. Interlace. Make yourself even with your left thigh. Lift the back of the head. So I'm still looking at the very front of my mat. Now, start to come inside your left leg. And then start to drop your chin to your chest, and at that moment, start to lift your hands way up and off your back. So you're curling into yourself like in your cat pose, trying to get the hands really high. And then rise all the way back to your warrior one. Remember, try to get the weight back over the back leg. Don't hinge that little bit right there in the front leg. And then hands to the floor. We're stepping, we're floating. It's all yours. We're making it down facing up. Alright, got all that on my left side. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Draw the knee to the chest and make your figure four and sit down. We're walking the hands back to the one standing foot there, so no rush. Keep your hands out on like we did before, trying to find the flat back, and your gaze is on the front of your mat. Maybe clear the floor and bring the hands right there to the heart, hooking your elbows right on your shin. And then hands come to the floor. Walk them halfway out. All right, here's that weird kneeling thing. Making a figure four on the floor. Try to push your ankle even with your left knee. To come up, I'm going to take my hands over to the left and start with just a little bit of a lean. And then push the floor away, clear, up. Hands towards your head, goalpost arms. Drop your toe. Instead of thinking about driving your hips forward, think about kind of moving your tailbone up towards your belly to lift your heart. All right, let's come out of it first by coming out of the back bend. Left hand to the floor. Walk your hands around to the front. Figure four down dog lift. Left foot steps outside left hand. Turning. Here's the twist first, and now we're going to corkscrew the feet. You're getting all your weight in your right hand, and then you're going to step it back past the side plank to wild thing. Left foot behind right knee. All right, here we go. Lift. You decide where you're going to step that left foot. We're stepping up to our Vinyasa squats. Maybe each time feet more parallel, closer together. Hands at your heart. And then hands come to the left knee. This time we're dragging it up with us to stand. Open it out to the side for tree. Goalpost arms. Stay, or right hand, right hip. Grab ankle or the foot. Just keep your arm inside the leg. Stay with the bent knee. Or kick it right out to the side. Try to turn your toes back, heel forward. First you're going to rebend. Then we're going to bring the knee in front. And then a step, feet together. Arms open and rest. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Left foot steps back for lunge, heel down. We're coming up, warrior one. All right, so I asked you on the other side. So you get more of your weight over your left leg and take yourself out of that back bendy thing we have a tendency to do in warrior one. Yeah, maybe get deeper into your right knee. And then hands go behind the back. Interlace. Just get even with your right leg. Right here, I'm not dropping my face because that's going to make me round my back too early. Really anchor that back pinky toe in, lower in, and at the bottom, make your cat back to lift your hands off your back. See if you can really extend your fist towards the front of the room, not the left corner. On up, all the way where you want. Hands to the floor, all yours now. Dog, we'll make child's pose. Alright, so we're just going to play around with some of those shapes. And if it doesn't work for you, you kind of have something to fall back to. Let's meet in downward facing. Right foot lifts, three-legged dog. Draw the knee to the chest. Make your feet forward. You're going to send that right foot out to the left side of the mat and roll to your left heel for a ball and train. Put both hands on the mat. Come back to your figure four. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Left hand stays, push the right knee away, twist. Both hands to the floor, straighten your right leg full. 3 more movements like that. Straight and bend. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale, bend. Push into your feet. Lift your right foot off the floor. Draw your knee into your chest. Step your right foot inside your right hand. Pivot. Come through the middle. Wide angle forward fold. Walk your hands through your legs. Back underneath your face and start to bend into your right knee and straighten. Okay, that's all we're going to do is bending and straightening. So we just did this, but now we're more towards the side. So it's like you're trying to move into a half of a malasana. Next time you get into your right knee, walk your hands over that way. Maybe you can come to your left heel and start to sit down inside that right heel. Let's do that twist we did in Malasana. Right hand pins your right knee. Left hand maybe just to your hip or to the sky. All right, so you remember how when we did this at the front of the mat, we turned this into eagle arms, okay? So you're gonna kind of fold into yourself so you can get your right arm underneath your left and see if you can find your eagle arms in this Skandasana. You might even still be able to trap that shoulder and knee together and turn and look to the left. A couple more breaths. And then exhale. Release your hands to the floor. Pivot to the front of the mat. Keep your hands inside your right foot. Lizard pose. You could drop to the knee. You can come to the forearms. And then move your hands closer together, put them back on the floor. We're going to step back to the front of the mat. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Come all the way to stand. Lift your right knee up. Wrap your right leg over your left for eagle pose. Fly your eagle waist, step your feet just outside hip width apart. Take your hands behind your back and interlace. Look down, make sure all 10 toes short edge of your mat. Lift your gaze. And then fold. Release your hands to the floor. Step your left foot back for lunge. Toe heel your left foot over towards the right foot over towards the left portion of your mat. Okay, and we're just going to play around with this pretty extreme angle in the knee for pigeon pose. So I'm just kind of lowering the knee and lifting up. When you're ready, you're going to land outside of that shin. And then you're going to bring as much of your left thigh to the floor as possible. So your right hip could be floating. You might have to make a smaller angle in your right knee. You might be able to walk yourself up and really square the hips. Right, so this pose feels like some of the other stuff that we've done, right? So we have a tendency to make the big back bend and send the rib cage forward. But I want you to think about dropping the tailbone and kind of curling it up into your belly so you can lift a little higher from that strength and maybe drop the hip. And then you're going to walk your hands out. So here we are again in this kind of, you're pulling yourself forward, really coming out of your hips like you did in your Vinyasa squat. You're going to get as much of your lower belly on the mat as possible. And the head is the last to follow. And then start to walk your hands back towards your shin. Go ahead and roll off onto your right hip. See if you can pick your back leg up with or without supporting yourself on the floor with your hands and step it outside your knee. And then let's see if we can go back where we were. All the way down. And then all the way up. We got 3 of these. Over. Really using that hip to control the movement so you can get it all the way down and all the way back. Last time, all the way back so you can get the thigh touch and all the way over and back. You might slide your heel in a little bit closer. See if you can get that left sit bones on the mat. You might give yourself a big hug and sit up even taller. Left hand comes outside, diagonal from your left hip, and take a twist. You might start to slide that right elbow. Outside elbows pushing against the leg, leg against the elbow. Maybe a half bind. Left hand behind the back, grab the top of the right thigh. Or a full bind. Unwind, take it all in the opposite direction, and let your head drop. And then you're going to take this left leg and straighten it out in front and make a tree pose seated. So my right foot's going inside this left leg. Hopefully one day my right knee's all the way down on the mat, flexing into the left foot, right? So it's not just rolled out and doing that thing. And then you're just going to fold over your left leg. And you can take this into a straight forward fold, reaching for the sole of the foot. If you'd like another twist, you're going to grab right hand outside edge of foot, right ear to left knee. Inhale, all the way back up. You're going to pick this right foot up, put it on the floor. Okay. So we're going to try to bring this leg across your body. I want you to put your right hand on the right knee, left hand, left foot. And you're just kind of moving it back and forth. If that feels super uncomfortable, maybe you start like in a seated half happy baby, trying to get the knee behind that armpit first. So that you can try to swing the foot around one day, maybe aiming for armpit, armpit, but might be today down here, okay? Now, look at what happens to your back here. Is this action. When I get this leg so close, I'm like halfway lay down. So this is hard on your lower back. So maybe not quite so close and a little bit higher, so it might move out here. I'd rather see maybe working on the right ankle than getting it too close. Now we're going to come to the fun part, okay? Right arm is going underneath, okay? Now, I'm going to show you this pretty low, because people don't believe me that it can be done low. So I'm just above my elbow. I don't want to do this to my elbow because you're going to see in a second. So I'm squeezing the lower part of my bicep, okay? And then I'm going to put my hands on the floor, not way out here, just in line with my hips, okay? And then I'm going to lean over like I'm going to take that forward fold again and see if I can lift that left foot off the floor. But look, I can bend it. It's not quite as heavy like that, okay? Right? So I did it pretty low. It's way down here. I think you can even do it on your calf. It's hard. It's a lot easier if you can get your leg way up here. Okay? And so then if it's way up here, maybe I can cross the ankles. All right, that's really easy because now my legs are not these two appendages going in the separate directions. Maybe I shoot it out to the side. So it looks a lot like a crow pose, right? And then I'll see if I can come back just like I went up and down. I'm sure the other side is going to be better. Okay? Cross your ankles, roll yourself through to all fours, to downward facing dog. Just shake the hips out side to side. Left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Knee to chest. Make your figure four, sit down into your ring. So I'm not asking for your foot, your left foot, to be in the version of fallen triangle that's almost like a split. I'm asking for the strong one, okay? So your left is going over to the right side. And your feet look like your triangle pose. And you lift your right hand. Good. Right hand comes back to the floor. You're pivoting back on the ball of the foot. Draw your leg back into that figure four. Sit down. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Right hand stays. Take a twist. Open. Hand to the floor. Push into the floor. Make your cat back. Draw your knee into your chest. And now step your left foot inside your left hand. Pivot. Turn. Come through the middle. Hands underneath your face. Wide ankle forward fold. Maybe this time grab big toes or reach out there for the heels. Draw in. Bring your hands back to the floor. Here's the movement to your left side. Bending and straightening. Right? Again, another opportunity to see what happens in your hip, your body, as you bend your knee lower and lower. Does your knee need to turn? Do your toes need to turn? So then maybe you start to sit down into the left heel. Okay, careful with this right knee. Yep. Left arm traps, right hand. So left arm is inside left leg. All right, and here's the eagle arm. So all you have to do is lean over a little bit, take Take your right elbow inside your left. Maybe gaze over towards the right. Continue to twist. Keep pushing that shoulder against the inside of that knee. That's it. Hands to the floor. Pivot back to the front of the mat. Hands inside your left foot. Lizard pose. And then bring your hands back to the floor. We'll step in front of the mat. Left wraps under right, eagle arms, come to stand. Left knee lifts. Take the left leg over the right. Eagle. Fly your eagle away. Feet hip width apart. One more time. Forward fold with shoulder over, hands behind the back. Interlace. Hinge. Fold. Drop. Gaze. That's when the hands start to come up and off the back. Hands to the floor. Right foot steps back for lunge. Left foot starts to go over towards the right side of the mat. And we just took a minute here to kind of move in and out of where your pigeon's going to go, okay? Maybe you start to notice just the movement in and out where you have a tendency to kind of collapse. Finally, the edge of the leg. You might take yourself more upright and really lift out of your hips. And then I had you take your just fingertips out like you're going to drag them back when we did the Malasana squat. Lift your chest to your fingers, and from there, fold. Start to lower your hands back to your shin. Let yourself roll off onto your left hip. Keep a hand down or not. Here's the swing around and step. Swing all the way back so you can really rotate that hip and get the upper thigh back on the floor. And then all the way around and step. And all the way back. Just two more. Last one, we're going to hang on to it. Give your leg a hug, sit up tall. Start to turn and look to the right. Twist. Careful letting the shoulder head fall. Okay, so you're squeezing between the shoulders. Yeah. Maybe the left elbow outside. Again, for me to do that, I'm going to let it next to my shoulder head drop. I've got to really push against the leg to find it back in its place. full bind on the other side. You want to take it here. I want to take it all the way in the opposite direction, drive your head. Inhale, come on up. Here's your seated tree. Right foot goes out. Super engaged. Pressing firmly against the thigh. And then a fold. Here goes the left leg into, okay? So regardless of what you do, this bottom leg, it's just supporting. It's a supporting role. It doesn't have to be any specific place. I just want you to find this opening in your hip, maybe the half happy baby. Just know yourself. That's really what the practice of yoga is, not the peak pose or that you look a certain way. Because we can all certainly get into a lot of poses, but we end up hurting ourselves. Maybe the grab of the knee and the foot, or then show this on the other side, a forklift sometimes. Okay. And with the forklift, you can do a little bit of like you're rocking in a chair. All right, let's try the left. Left hand to the floor. High or low on the arm. Hands plant closer to the belly and further. Let's see if you can lift the bottom leg. Maybe the grab. And maybe just a little rock. You might send it out to the side. And we'll meet. Let's roll all the way onto your backs. Draw the knees into the chest. Bring your kneecaps into your palms, straighten your elbows. And then just stir your knees around a little bit. But at some point in that circle, the elbows straighten again. So you're just tracing the contours of your lower back. Take circles or move it in the opposite direction. And then take your palms with the kneecaps in them towards your armpits. Flip your feet up towards the ceiling. Reach up there, slide your hands along the outside edge of your shins towards the outside edge of your feet. And when they get there, push your feet into your fingers as you pull your fingers into your feet. Rock yourself a little side to side, finding a straight leg, here or there. When you get back into the middle, bring the soles of your feet together, clasp your hands around the edges. Knees come out left and right, start to draw your heels towards your belly button. And you're going to really push your sides of feet into your hands so your elbows are completely straight. now you're starting to pull the shoulders away from the base of the neck. Let go of the edges of the feet, let them land on the floor or Supta Baddha Konasana. If this is still too much on your hips, maybe yours is a little movement side to side. Maybe you bring your fists underneath your upper thighs to let your legs rest into something. If you're pretty comfortable here, you might take your arms above your head and grab those elbows again. Let go of your elbows, move your hands out into a big T. Set your feet once more on the edges of the mat. And just let your knees sway from side to side. So now you're starting to kind of feel the outer contours of your lower back and the outer hip. Next time your knees get over to the right, let them just kind of stay there. You might notice that your left knee is inside your right foot. If you wanted to pick up your right foot and set it on that knee, that's not too much on the psoas. And then start to gaze over your left arm. Let go of the knee if you haven't put that foot once more on the outer edge, so you should feel the wood floor and your mat on your feet. Maybe sway a little more once more, as many times as you would like before you settle into the left side. And if the foot on the knee makes sense, to do that, gaze over the right arm. Feet back, come back to the floor. Move yourself back into the center. A little more swaying if you would like. Otherwise, start to just move your feet out to the corners of the mat. Let your feet roll open if that's comfortable on your hips. Maybe you keep your arms in this T, or even bigger, reach them up towards the back of the room if that's comfortable on your shoulders. Otherwise, bring your hands down by your hips. Maybe rock the head a little side to side so you can find some space. Neck, a little massage on the back of the skull. Let that be a signal to start to let go of tension in the fingers and in the toes, soles of the feet, palms, the jaw, around the eyes, the lips. Just start you seated. Let your hands rest in your lap somewhere. Close your eyes. You might find yourself just moving a little side to side, front to back. Try to find center. Eternal quest. Put your palms up and overhead, connect them at the top, and then exhale, pull them right into your heart. Rest your thumbs right on that breastbone. Take a deep breath into the thumbs. Use the thumbs and press it out. Drop your head to your fingertips. Send out some gratitude to people that made it possible for you to be here. Namaste.